But one of the lowlights from that Madison Square Gardens rally for Donald Trump was the comedian. Tony Hinchcliffe is his name. They get a comedian to come on and crack a few jokes, and he cracked this one.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Well, that's pretty derogatory towards Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans, and I've shown our viewers earlier in the week how the vice presidential Republican candidate J.D. Vance dealt with that topic pretty well. But now the Democrats seem to be turning it into an own goal. I want to show you two comments from the president, Joe Biden, where first he sort of infers wanting to kill or drown the comedian, and then he calls Donald Trump's supporters garbage. Have a look.
Well, I'd take that guy for a swim out there. Anyway. Stenny's looking at me. Don't get going, Joe. Don't get going, Joe. Slow up. Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is just supporters.
Kristen, we've been down this road before with Hillary Clinton and the deplorables. This is the Democrats slurring any Trump voters. Is this a pretty bad mistake just less than a week out from polling day?
Of course. And, I actually, whatever you think about that specific joke or the comedian, it was clearly a strategic decision by the Trump campaign to put that comedian there. We know this comedian makes jokes like this. He has a track record of it. And now the Trump campaign has put the left and the Democrats in a position where in a week before the election, they are out there complaining and pearl clutching about a joke. The left is completely devoid of humor, and also they've trapped Joe Biden and Kamala Harris into making comments like the one you just referenced by Biden. So yes, this looks very bad. We all know how the deplorables comment played out for Hillary Clinton, and we may be seeing a repeat of that now, just a week before the election.
And of course, Kristen, tonight your time, Kamala Harris has addressed a rally outside the Capitol, drawing direct references to what happened there on January the 6th, 2021. Have a look.
We know who Donald Trump is. He is the person who stood at this very spot nearly 4 years ago and sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol to overturn the will of the people in a free and fair election. An election that he knew he lost. Americans died as a result of that attack.
Well, Kristen, does this fall into the same category as the fascist attack, really trying to mobilise the base? We know there's all sorts of misinformation and errors perpetrated about what happened on January the 6th, including the fact, of course, the person who was shot and killed was a protester, and we had a police officer die of a heart attack and all the rest of it. What's your take on her tactic there tonight?
When the vast majority of Americans hear Kamala Harris talk like that, they roll their eyes and they yawn. It just doesn't work anymore. They have been screaming for 8 years straight about Donald Trump being a big, scary dictator. Guess what? Donald Trump was president for 4 years. We have seen what he did. We have a track record there. We also now have a track record of 4 years of Kamala Harris. This line of attack, I just don't suspect it's going to be very effective this time around, Chris.
Yeah, and Kristen, just quickly, do you see Donald Trump returning to the White House in January next year?
If I had to put my money on it right now, I would say yes. All the momentum seems to be with Donald Trump right now.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Certainly the polls trending his way too. Thanks for talking to us. Can't wait to catch up next week.
Really looking forward to it. Thank you, Chris.